Hi, Jonathan here at Soma Fit. Again, we're going over Olympic Taekwondo. This technique coming up is the back kick. I'm setting up this kick, again, in my fighting stance, which has weight distributed a little more on my front leg. I'm on the balls of my feet. Now this technique is a little different in that it's more of a defensive technique. So what I'm doing here is I'm waiting in my fighting stance for my opponent and my target to come forward. So essentially this is more of a defensive trap. So what I'm doing, my opponent steps forward and initiates the confrontation. I'm going to turn here, will be my first step. And that again involves rotation on the balls of both feet. Now as I turn, I've given my opponent my back, but I'm looking over my shoulder. I'm then going to raise my back leg, which in this instance is my right leg. The knee comes up, just like the first few kicks. It's tight to the body, which again is a characteristic of Olympic Taekwondo. As that knee stays up and comes up, I'm going to then thrust my foot with my heel leading straight back to hit the target and push and kick my opponent away from me. From this point, I'm going to then rotate 180 degrees back to where I started from. Now this has, again, two variations that I'm going to show, which are both jump kicks. Now the first one is just very simply a jump back kick, and is set up in the exact same manner, except as my opponent comes forward, he's already initiated the confrontation or the movement. I'm going to turn, but as I turn and rotate, I'm going to lift both feet and jump in the air. As I jump, I'm thinking about jumping up, but also in towards my opponent. So without the kick, the jump will look like that. But again, you have to imagine that will be preceded by a fully extended leg. That's the jumping back kick. I'm going to show you now a double jumping back kick, which involves a cut kick immediately preceded by a back kick in the air without your feet touching the ground. So as I have my opponent here with my target, I'm again thinking of him as a ladder. And so I'm using my feet to climb up the rings of the ladder to get to the target area that I want. So meaning my first kick's going to plant low. I'll plant my second kick. I can plant it at any given height or interval. I'm going to go ahead and pendulum my legs forward. As I pendulum forward, my left knee, in this case my front leg, is coming up. My leg's going to touch the pad. As I make contact with that pad, I'm going to then push off of that, using him like a ladder, and kick with the back kick to really hit with force and power. And as you can see, my first kick hits, and the second kick follows with a harder power level and at a different height. Those are the variations of the back kick. Next kick will be spinning hook kick.